The only thing I don't like about, well, we'll talk about it on the podcast.
Charles, I need to tell you something.
Yes, Davis.
I've been unfaithful.
No.
I found someone else. I found another hunting buddy.
You fucking cheater! How dare? I understand. It's okay.
Yeah. But we were playing Monster Hunter Rise last night until like 3 a.m. I was playing with Tomo, my friend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Sweet. You fucking cheater! No, it's good.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Yeah. So for anyone who don't know, Rise has just come out on the Switch, officially released.
Let's go.
For anyone who got a pre-order, they got their Golden Retriever
the deluxe
layered
edition.
armor, which is awesome because I was planning on having a Golden Retriever, so that's perfect.
Yeah, I made mine a fox though.
Nice.
I'll show you mine later on, but yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks. How's it been?
Good. Things are progressing. I'm getting almost there. Things are starting to wrap up a little bit. Some classes are
How many weeks do you have left? Do you have
4 or 5. Yeah.
There, I have the same amount. I end in like the first week of May.
Yeah. I think we end in like the
Which
last
sucks because like
few days of April.
I have to do final projects and shit, like we both do. But
Yeah. It's
yeah.
And the teachers are like, "Oh yeah, you're ready. You got what 5?
you got 5 weeks left to finish your animation from like boards to coloring and line work.
Yeah.
Like because you guys do the group project work, which I enjoy because
Yeah.
it's easier. If you set out one vision and like you try to carry it out, that's fine. But it's when for me especially, like we do our own work, all our like shit like independently. So I'm like kind of fucked over on a bunch of shit. That's why I prefer working in black and white and like the monocolor tones.
Yeah,
because like it's just way easier to sort of figure this stuff out and do it timely.
Yeah, so this semester we're doing it by ourselves too. So that's same boat. It's fucking hard because like there's so many things that I just don't know about, like audio and fucking. I mean, just drag the thing in, obviously, and just leave it there for now.
But the creation of audio and sound effects and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing for sound design
and color. And I'm like, fuck.
That's what I'm gonna do for like my little like animation for my final. I'm mixing my sound design final project with my advanced motion one, so I'm like I don't have to do 2 separate projects.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of other schoolwork and shit, I don't think I could tell this story on the podcast because like, it happened recently. I don't know if my teacher's actually listening to this, so I'll tell you after it. But a lot of stuff during school is just kind of just like, yeah, here you go. Here's a bunch of work that you're not going to be able to finish, but yeah,
you've given them too much information.
He'll know. But for a bunch of other stuff, right? Like I'm looking at internships and stuff. Like I got 2 interviews already.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know, it'd be kind of fun if I get the internship that's in Stanford, right?
Yeah.
We should get an apartment for the summer, and then you and Ben can use it for the fall and commute to the city if that works. Or have you found an apartment already?
So we scrapped the apartment.
Okay.
He's gonna be doing a studio. I'll just be staying at home because I realized like I have only 1 class in person.
Oh, so you're completely online.
Yeah. So
honestly, we might as well get an apartment and you just take over the lease.
Yeah, I'll think about it because it's like the idea is like we just want to save money, and then once college is over, then we'll like
get the apartment.
The apartment. That's what we were kind of thinking. And it's like it's like for now, if I have a place, it's fine.
Yeah, that's
not to say I wouldn't love to room with you, but
that kind of sucks. You're almost on completely online though.
Yeah, I mean, spring semester is gonna be like 3 classes in person, but it's like I can make the commute. It's fine.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, it's like I think like 2 of them.
You live close to the train station. You're fine. You can walk.
Yeah, it's not a biggie.
You should get like a small electric scooter, like the little racer things. I remember we were looking at that the last time you were over here.
Oh,
we were looking at the little shitty electric scooters. We found like these really weird rollerblades. We just stand on top of it and kind of like do like a ripstick kind of thing with it. I was just like, how does that even work? Like motion wise, just
physics.
I know, just like not like the ingenuity of fucking American people just to create a worthless toy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, oh, you want to? Well, people get bored, so it's just like, let's just make this. Shit
that's like the new like little like hoverboard Segway fad.
Yeah,
that was like the 2000s.
Does this really make it improve?
Does it improve your life quality at all? No.
You gotta do the same thing with a bike. Honestly, for me, it's like, comparatively speaking, bikes are probably the best non like gas or just personal power vehicle ever. Because it's just like everything else is just like, oh, you want to skateboard? Well, it's like you could do the same thing with a bike. Yeah. To be honest, no offense. To
I like if you're skateboarding, I expect you to be like doing actual like tricks and stuff. If you're using a skateboard to get around, that's different. If you longboard to get around, that's fine because the longboard's for getting around.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And then scooters. I mean, scooters, like electric scooters, you could make the argument that it's less work.
It's yeah.
You
but did you see the that meme where it's just like the Tesla Charger being powered by a diesel engine?
No, oh yeah.
It was just this image popped up on my feed the other day on Twitter or something, and it was a picture of a Tesla car being charged at a Tesla Charger, but right behind it is a diesel generator that powers the charger.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's not considered connected to the main grid, so it's like, and like the little little meme caption underneath it was like Elon Musk being like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck is this?" I love it. Poor Elon.
Oh, but My Hero season 5 came out yesterday.
I heard.
It wasn't a recap episode. It was just more of an introduction episode. So I'm like, skip it.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching. I think I stopped watching after second season, and I just read the manga.
Yeah, I really think just reading the manga is the way to go. I don't really want to watch anime, like half-hour show, just to be waiting for the next week.
At least it's like, for me, I have to watch an anime. I have to start from the beginning and
beginning to end and kind of finish it off.
Yeah, because it's like I could do that. I could go and read a long-running series, like no problem. Like if it's like 800 chapters, bet if it's good, I'll read it. But for an anime, it's like I have to sit for an exact amount of time to get the full story, whereas if I'm reading it, I can, read at my own pace.
Yeah.
It could be done in like a week or so. This is like, no, you gotta sit here for like days and days. That's like, no.
But I'll also say this too. My favorite scan site for manga shut down recently. Just because they had a hack and stuff, and they're kind of just working towards the newer site, which is fine. But it's like one of those things where it's like, I kind of sort of realized I have an addiction, Charlie.
Oh yeah,
I have a sheer addiction to just like wake up in the morning to look up what got posted.
I have the same exact problem.
Right? it's like you go to your website. It's like checking your Facebook right in the morning. It's like people back in the day would just wake up, go check Facebook really quickly, then go on their day. But now for me especially, it's just like I don't have that satisfaction of waking up, reading reading my books.
I open up a tab in Google Chrome. I'm like, better check what the manga is today.
Yeah.
Just open up the next one.
Yeah. The first fucking thing that I type in is anything when I open up a Google Chrome tab is MAN, which is how you spell manga, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no, it's shut down. I had the backspace. I was like, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Just look at other stuff.
Yeah, there's like, I'll say this, like, I think YouTube is a prime example of like solo-made content that can be made consumably on a daily basis.
More animated films and shows are being produced on YouTube than there ever has been in a long time.
Yeah, and I think it's just the accessibility to the internet as well as like Twitter and stuff, where you just literally just pull people together. Like Studio Grackle literally pulled like a bunch of people together from like across the internet.
It's awesome. I mean, I know YouTube for an animation base is not very
It's not very sound, like as like a long form animation, we should say. That's like television and like shorts and that kind of stuff. Just because YouTube kind of favors more of like the YouTuber animators sit down and talk kind of thing.
Yeah, they support creators and
the Jaden animation shit and that kind of stuff, which kind of like has little to no
the vlog type shit.
Yeah, it has like little to no. Now I don't want to say little to no, but like has little animation. It's more of like posing and like mouth flaps, which is fine. Yeah, it's just that
when
you get to like physical animation, right? You couldn't like pump out those things weekly without some sort of massive drawback.
Long running stories on YouTube, like long running animation stories on YouTube, is very hard unless you do like a Aqua Teen Hunger Force thing.
Yeah, where it's like a
very
low
budget
clip show kind of thing.
Yeah, like the Warhammer. I don't know if you like the text to speech series. I don't know if you ever heard that one. It's basically like if you like 40K, it's basically they do their own like little animated thing, but it's just literally JPEGs of dudes, and they just like
it's literally the internet historian kind of stuff where they kind of like move around.
Exactly, it's like very low budget, or maybe I shouldn't say that. There's probably I don't know.
Did I ever tell you the story that I made a internet historian version of Psycho?
No.
So this was in high school. So in high school for our film class, we had to create our own little story, right? Based on like another, like if you had to reboot a series or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I chose to do Psycho because that's the most recently thing we watched. It was fresh in my mind. I was like, oh, Psycho's pretty easy. Like, well, you have the one big twist at the end, right? So my thing about that was like I just pulled up OBS or screen recorded it, but just by using Photoshop. I wasn't really into After Effects or animation at this time because it was like like junior year, I think. So I made that, and my teacher was like, it's very unique, and like it actually got the point across fairly well in a very comedic manner. I was like, yeah, that's what I was going for. And at this time, I did not even know Internet Explorer existed.
Yeah, really.
This is one of those things where it's just like, because Internet Explorer popped out around like 2016, 2017. I didn't really know that this thing was like actual like base of like shitty animation, like that kind of quality, you know, which is fantastic. And it's like one of those things that kind of push forwards like the artistry of like what do you consider like content, you know?
Yeah, as long as you have good writing, you know, you could have two dots talking to each other. It really doesn't matter, you know. And that's what's so great about art is that there's so many forms that you can go down, and so it's like if you don't have the time, it's all subjective. If you don't have the time, then it's like whatever. And it's like that's why. Eventually, I would like to do like a series like Aqua Teen where it's just like low budget, just fucking around.
Yeah, just like low budget.
Yeah,
we should pitch something like a 5-minute clip show to the Adult Swim, like for bumpers and shit. Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, and it's just like I see the show. It's like they have only like one background, and it's like that's. Smart.
It's just them two sitting on the couch just watching TV.
Yeah,
and just like discussing their day.
They reuse the same background every single time, where it's just like the house, the inside of the house, the actual street, and like and inside maybe Carl's house or something like that. That's it. You never see anything else really, except maybe Carl's backyard.
Yeah, the backyard.
And then that's pretty.
You know what? No, I actually had an idea like that. I was like, it's like a parody of like Kim's Convenience Store.
Oh, really?
Where it's like instead of like it's like an old Chinese man running it, and like he has 2 part-time workers, and it's like a night shift kind of thing. It's like a 24-hour try to make, because like the plot of the show was, for in my understanding, was that to like a sort of 24/7 like 7-Eleven sort of opened up further down the street, and like he's trying to compete with them. I think it was called like in my mind like Chang's Convenience.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the older Chinese man and like 2 younger, like one is his teenage Asian son and like his friend working the counter. And then they just kind of like commentate and look at the fucking like everyone else who comes in like, oh, I don't trust this guy over here. What do you think?
Yeah.
He looks like a criminal to me.
Yeah, look at that fucking guy in his Yankee t-shirt.
Sure, yeah. And then when the customer comes up, they immediately change like, oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
That'd be a funny thing to do. I should start scripting that.
A Boston's fan.
Oh,
fuck,
God.
what a dickhead. Oh, hi. Get the mask on, everything.
Yeah. That'd be a fun. I should write that script. That would be fun.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about Rise?
Yeah, let's talk about Rise. Actually, first, I'm gonna say this. We're gonna go reworkshop a bunch of shit for like style wise for the studio, just because of I found this more like Flash Newground style to be more my kind of like my jive. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the mixture between Sugar and like Newgrounds.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the long triangle arms, like meaty hands, that kind of stuff, like tiny bodies and like heads, that kind of stuff.
I get you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll show you some work later on, but yeah, let's talk about Rise now.
Okay. Pretty fucking great. I enjoy it. So yeah, it just came out, and I've only played it for a few hours, but I could tell you, it's fucking. Woo!
Yeah, I'll say this: like mechanic wise, it feels really more refined than Worlds.
Yeah.
I just can't get used to the fall back one where you get hit, you just hit Z, L, and B. Because like me as like an older player, especially because I'm coming from like the older generations, I don't like. I just like kind of roll back and then dodge. That's my go-to thing. It's like you just roll back.
You gotta take it.
You gotta take the hit. Yeah.
The invisibility frames. Also, it's like I don't want to use a wire bug if I can use it for a new move.
Yeah, exactly. Because I play Switch Axe, right, which is a fucking brand new game with the wire bug.
Yeah.
Like Hammer and like Switch Axe, brand new fucking game with the wire bug.
So different.
So much it's way more better because like the wire bug allows you to instantly charge your file. So like you could just you just come out of sword mode. and then Warbug with the A dash, and then you get like a full file full of energy, and then you just go straight back into sword mode and start swinging and just start fucking like pulverizing shit. You jump on it, and it's explosions. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
I gotta try out Greatsword. I'm sure there are some things that are way different, but for Lance, it's like a night and day. It really, like, you just get way more movement options, and counter wise, like, you get a new counter, and like I was trying to figure out like just how to fucking time it, and like every time I'd nail it, I'd always like miss. I'm like, fuck. This is so annoying.
Me and my friend were playing last night, and she was playing longsword, right? She tried to do the X jump one, and she kept missing. I was just like, yeah, maybe not try doing this on a cool Yaku, maybe something on large like a Basaros or something. But yeah,
maybe not that.
Maybe not a small monster, but maybe something like quite larger and has a lot of like area for you to hit, like a Barroth.
It's cool, man. Like, so big pros. First one, I'm gonna say right now, the Palamute. That needs to stay in every next iteration because I love the Palamute.
I don't know if that's gonna stay.
I want it to though, so bad.
Because this is such like a one-off region too.
Yeah, and you need to model the maps around it too, because like it's traveling wise.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were less fast and you could just like if you know.
I think wall running could use a bit of more working.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little funky.
Yeah, because you kind of like jump off like when you really should be just kind of like, okay, there's somebody use next wire bug and then run up still.
Yeah. Or it's very and like you hit the wrong direction by accident.
Yeah,
like,
and then you kind of fucked yourself over.
Yeah, and then you run out of stamina. But then you can get it back when you use the second one. But it's very much like you want to use the dog as a springboard and then on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But still, it's solid. The hub world,
really well done.
Really well done. Love the training area. Love
the cooking.
Well, the dog was interesting because like, it's much more simpler to understand, which I like that.
Yeah, it's much more streamlined, like what you get and like what ability activates and percentage wise.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense. I do miss the wide variety of food you get, but it's understandable that they want to simplify.
It's styled,
that aspect.
yeah.
And it's like that's fine. I also like the little show that they do.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of charm. That's what I say about this game. It has a lot of charm, especially with the monster introductions as well. Like the fucking cool like little like wanted intros thing.
Oh yeah, the wanted intros as well as like the new locale intros, whereas like the very old kind of sort of Rashomon feeling to it, whereas like the filter, which is really nice.
It's got the string and instrumentals in the background. It's got the cool.
Yeah, it's got the all you need is really the kabuki yo.
yeah.
To actually kind of like figure this shit out, to like kind of make it all together.
Yeah, it's just the maps are well done. They're different from Rise, or sorry, not
from World.
This is gonna fuck up my head so many times trying to say the right name.
Because World is one of those things where it's like they have it goes with elevation, where like everything kind of circles around from like the lower part of the map escalates to the higher part of the map, and the higher part of the map is like actually physically higher.
Yeah. So
it's one of those things where it's just like I prefer Rise's map layout more because like you just kind of traverse a little bit.
Yeah, it's flat.
It's flat and like you just go through areas. That's why I prefer.
You could skip over certain parts for shortcuts. I could tell you, speed runs are gonna be nuts because I've already seen some where it's like 5 minutes kill Magnemala. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no, they like boost through this. Like if you look at the speedrun community, like the main part of the speedrun community is how fast can you kill one monster.
Yeah,
and that's and that's why like a lot of the competitions go like how fast can you kill this monster with this given skill set and like tools.
Yeah. And with the riding monster thing, it's like that's a huge plus too. It's like
I know. I'll say this: I miss the old Wyvern riding.
Really? Was it an old one?
Yeah, the one from World. You know how you jump off on that one?
Yeah.
And I don't like the new one just because it kind of like there's no point to it because you always need to have like knock it over first and then get on top of it, which is a good fix. But I do think they should have reserved the old one just for Interglaive because that's where it came out from 4 Ultimate when the Interglaive was first introduced.
Oh yeah.
So I think if they reserved like just a specific like mounting for that one, I think it would be fine, and like you wouldn't get the simple.
I think the Clutch Claw. I mean, I think the Clutch Claw was good.
It just broke the game though. It just broke the game.
The monsters couldn't do anything about it, and like unless they reprogrammed it so that the monsters could like have.
I think the Clutch Claw was a nice introduction to like what would happen
with the wire bugs.
The wire bugs, but I just don't think the Clutch Claw was like the definitive answer for it.
No,
I don't think the definitive answer is the wire bugs either.
Now, because I think the wire bugs do a great job with movement and evasion, like as a defensive thing, and increasing your moveset is also really good. But I think the wire riding thing isn't it at the moment. It almost gives you like, I don't know how to say it. It's like it stops kind of everything. Like the whole fight kind of gets like everyone who isn't riding it just kind of
kind of just like
has to back up
a bit and like let the two monsters duke it out, which is fine. But it's just kind of like for a solo thing, it makes more sense because like monsters and locales and stuff just like meet each other randomly. You might as well take advantage of it. It's just that in multiplayer options, it kind of just like leaves you alone for like to do nothing and like kind of pick up the scraps. I guess
unless you got like a long range weapon, otherwise you're like just
it's like stay clear. Yeah.
And then monster variety wise, pretty great. I love that they're not all crazy reptiles. I mean, World, for what it was, it had some variety, but
a lot of variety. I just think it was just like one of those things where it's just like the locale was just kind of like jungle, and that was kind of it.
Well, there's like the jungle and the desert and the
jungle, desert, and then Elder Recess, and then the
Iceborne was like the snow.
Iceborne was the ice one, and then
there was another one,
and then the Elders Underground or whatever it's called,
Rotten Vale.
Rotten Vale, yeah.
Was the Rotten Vale, like idea wise, it looked really cool. Or like aesthetically speaking, it was like the colors just were like ew, or like they just like muted.
I'll also say this, like I don't like the color palette inside Rise just because everything just sort of blends in now. All the mushrooms and stuff, they're not like the bright reds and the yellows they used to be. I kind of feel like in order to do this like really well, it's like you can't just bend the knee and be like, oh, we have to go with realistic graphics and like blend everything in. I kind of need sort of like the bright sort of mushrooms to see like, this is a actual like thing like I could pick up and not just like a fun little like fungal little like add-on,
Yeah, and I'm confused, but does the map not show where
you have to set it so you can show like, all the little like details and stuff, which I hate. It's such
annoying.
a dumb idea.
That's very.
You
annoying.
Shouldn't automatically make it like there from the first place and then have the option to turn it off. But it's like the opposite way around.
Or World had a very nice system where it's like if you found
World held your hand too much. I would say that it's just that. I just kind of understand like the reason why people didn't necessarily want it or like need it. So I guess like, but it's one of those things where you should have it turned on first, then have people turn it off.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's just an option. So just having the options is perfect.
Yeah.
And and then like in terms of like I love the owl that you get. It's very cute.
The Kahoot.
The Kahoot. I named him Muna because I thought of the song "I Love to Sing" about the moon. And
I named mine Hoot Hoot from the Pokemon. I was just like, I was like, that sounds pretty nice. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But of course, he doesn't really do anything except kind of land on your shoulder. He's more of just
it's more of an aesthetic piece rather than like a functional piece.
Yeah, I'm like, does he give you like rewards and stuff? And
I don't know. I gotta check the fucking log and like see if it actually does anything.
They said he gives you something, but I'm like, I've been feeding this guy. I've been petting him. I mean, I love to do it. Don't get me wrong.
You know what? I do think it's a replace for your pig. It's a replacement for the pig, and you're supposed to pet it, and feed it every time you come back from a quest, and then you'll build your bond, and then you get something shit out of it.
Oh, that's gonna be something I forget about constantly.
Is that mine?
Because
okay,
Siri.
Okay, Siri.
Siri, what do you think about Monster Hunter Rise?
Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri.
Oh, now she wants to be quiet.
What do you think about Monster Hunter Rise? I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else to help you with? No. Fuck off.
She's like, I'm more of a world player, to be honest with you. Yeah, so otherwise, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I've been playing Lance mainly. The tether's been fucking cool. I didn't figure out how to use it for a little bit, and then I went to the training area and then figured it out. Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, if you go to the way they set it up, that's like, they don't hold your hand at all, which is fine, but it's just like, you have to go figure yourself out at the training area. There's like, every weapon has like 3 combos, so it's not that hard to memorize which one is which and like what moves you could do.
Yeah. And it's like coming from from world to this, it's definitely like a lot of things carry over, and you can remember like, okay, this is where I have to focus on, blah 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 blah. And it's like they kind of like it's tough because like they go through all these menus and stuff. I'm like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
And like I'm just trying to be like, okay, this is the canteen, this is the training area, this is where I get rewards, blah blah blah. All this stuff back and forth, and like what's the most optimal route. what do I need to do where. I will say that the system they have where it's like the speech bubbles for quests.
Oh, for like the new things.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'd rather just have like an exclamation point or
Well,
something.
that's a thing because like back in the old games, right? It was a little like yellow speech bubble, which it still is on the main map. It's just that it just kind of leads you towards getting it to answer it because a lot of times the little speech bubble would get missed a lot, and then you'd be kind of like stuck at a certain part and be like, oh, I had to do this quest first and like kind of get this stuff first and like kind of level up and like kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, yeah, I personally prefer the larger ones just because it says something's going on. I do enjoy the new key quests for like the little notifications because I do enjoy that because I playing through the games, that's one of the hardest things that you would not be able to do is that you wouldn't be able to know which quests you needed to physically rank up.
Yeah.
Unless you did all of them. Which you should do all of them because it will eventually give you a higher rank when you unlock the Hunter's Cap after like I think 8. After 8 it will jump up to like 40 something and then from there you'll just kind of spiral into like this larger number.
Big boy.
Yeah. So I think what we should do is we should just record ourselves playing through all the multiplayer missions.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I have only fought the bear and Azuchi at the moment.
Oh, the Azuros and the Azuchi. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't get too far. I didn't want to. I just wanted to explore around and get used to stuff for a bit, just to get introduced. And then I'm gonna. And I just got the Azuchi set just set up because I've been didn't want to go too crazy just yet because I still have work and it's like I don't want to delve too deep.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Sundays you should reserve for the hunters.
Yeah. I'll remember that. Otherwise, like I've been, and then what else is there? Just I'm trying to think of anything else. Like there's the shopkeep, and then there's the trader. I love the look of the thing. There was the meme laugh from the chief. That was pretty funny. Where he's like, ha 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 ha, and I'm like,
ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I'm like that's pretty cheeky. That's pretty cringe. But anyway, on to the next thing.
I'm actually gonna look up the old voice actors for this. I'm really curious. I know the cooking girl is Erica Harlacher. That's very her voice.
Also, the twins, were they trying to sneak into my room for something?
Yeah. I know. Yep.
That like, what the fuck would you do if I didn't know you were there? That's my question.
Behind the voice actors, so
I was like, this is scary.
Fugen is Chris Tergilefera. Hinoa is Maureen Pierce. Yamogi is Erica Harlacher. Yep, knew it. Hamon is Damian Mills.
Hamon.
Yep, and Kaguro is Todd Peppercorn. I knew it. Komitsu is Laura Stahl. Hojo is Lucen Dodge. Minato is Heather Gonzalez. And then Utsi, she is Brennan James Wicker. Iori is Kyle McCarley. Rondine is Caitlin Galt. And then Hunter let's look at the little like all the Hunter voices. Bryce Papenbrook, Billy Kometz, Xander Mobus, Alex Lee, Kellen Joff, Philip Reich, Andrew Bowen, Aiden Rudd, Lindsay, Michael Scott, Ty Nielsen for the males. Wow, that's a lot. I'm pretty sure 6 is Dio's voice though. Dio's voice dub. Who's that?
Got Hamon and Dio? My goodness.
Yeah. No, it's not Patrick Sides. Is it Patrick Sides? I don't see him on here.
I don't know. If he's not there, then...
It's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the voice actor has all your answers for voice acting needs.
If you
it's a very expensive, large voice cast as usual.
Yeah.
So and plus all the things are actually dubbed in English, which is fantastic, which is really interesting too, because it's like from coming from like a mainline game too. It's just like I don't really hear like people being dubbed usually. I usually hear the fake like languages, the fake Monster Hunter common tongue that you speak, because like for like Generations they had for the ending song, right?
Yeah.
It was inside the Japanese. It was dubbed in Japanese, but inside English, it's completely gibberish.
It's just blab. It's really like you over there. It's just like,
and inside like Ultimate and like Generations, be like,
I went for I was looking at the voice types. There's some funny ones. I went for like Type 7, the cool guy. I was like, just relax.
Yeah. I think type 4 or type 5 was Kirito's voice actor. I was just like, oh, that's neat, but I'm not gonna be Kirito, so fuck off.
Yeah, no, fuck that now.
Yeah.
Send me to an isekai, will you?
Imagine a Monster Hunter isekai.
No.
I mean, that's basically the Monster Hunter movie, though, right?
No.
That's basically the Monster Hunter movie. The Monster Hunter movie is basically a live action isekai.
No, that's too real. Davis, no. You made the connection.
We still have to watch that. We haven't seen it.
I haven't.
Because not a lot of theaters were open when that came out, which is a fucking shame.
We could just play the event on World, and that'll be the experience.
Exactly.
Oh, god damn it. JJK season finale. I saw it. It was fucking hype.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. I'll say this overall, consistency was pretty good. Story was meh.
I mean, that's just
That's the thing with like Jujutsu Kaisen. Is like if you don't like the story, you can appreciate the animation.
Yeah,
at least, which
you appreciate
is fine.
The fights and the animation, and I will say, like, I found it interesting that they ended on that arc, but I'm like, you know what? In hindsight, that does kind of make sense because
it sets up everything up. You know?
And it kind of shows like the progression of where they were at the beginning of the season to where they are. It
also sets up the fucking movie too. I'm just like,
oh yeah, I finally read Zero. So I think they're gonna have to cut some bits out for that, but
I mean, it is a movie though, so
yeah, basically
it's like an hour and a half, I guess, but it's probably gonna come out like 2022. Probably
they said it was gonna come out this year, like late winter, I think, early winter, somewhere.
Probably 2022. Knowing everything, I don't think they have a definitive answer for anything about that.
Honestly, I'd rather just have season 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like Mappa could have done so much other work, just like kind of.
But they're like, you know what, we just gotta milk this for as much as we can. I mean, kudos to them for making
production
such
committee
a great
production committee is like kind of like fuck you, this is what we're doing, and like fucked over Mappa and like the current schedule.
Yeah.
Because if they're working on the movie right, they're not probably not gonna be working on any more anime after Chainsaw Man and Attack on Titan Part 2. So
yeah, they're gonna have to,
their schedule's
long
full.
Plan-wise, yeah. I mean,
and plus with the Netflix like the Black Samurai one too, it's just kind of like. Yeah, they're pretty packed. Maybe not just rely on Mappa to do everything.
Yeah, I think they're good for now, guys.
Yeah,
give Bones something to do. I don't know.
Give Toho Animation something. Like honestly, they got stuff to do. But I'll say, but I was watching Kimono Jihen, which is you should watch it. It's really well done.
Kimono Jihen,
which is it's a Shonen Jump property, I believe, but it's not done inside English yet, which sucks. Because like it's one of those things where it's like I would totally read the manga.
What? Why does it sound so familiar? I don't know.
It's like the halfling kids where they're kind of like just like they're a yokai.
Oh, I've read that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really well done. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good series. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's really well done animation wise. Consistency is like off the charts. It's just kind of like overall, it's like I would say this is probably the most consistent and like well done overall.
I thought it was going like the manga. I thought it was like going in this certain direction, but I was like, oh no, this is a bit more of like a different direction I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I like it. Yeah, you're right. It's a good series.
It's really well done. I'll say this, like, just overall from an artistic and, like, from a production standpoint, it's pretty, like, well, like, overall, just, like, consistency is really there.
Did Mushoku Tensei finish?
I think so. That's the jobless reincarnation one.
Yeah.
I think it finished probably this week or last week. I forget.
Okay, so
everything's either ending this week or next week. So because Horimiya's at episode 12, but they go for 13, so they're almost done with the season.
Okay, and I know the manga finished. I know that.
Did it?
Yeah, it just did. Yeah.
Did they post a chapter though? I don't think they posted chapters for that one.
I read it. I mean, it said the end.
Oh.
It was, you know, it ended fine. And then, yeah, I mean, I have to watch it. I've read Mushoku Tensei. I've read Jobless Reincarnation. And I'm still reading it. It's really, really good. And I saw the animation quality for it, and I was like, this is amazing. But it's, yeah, after JJK, I'm like, I gotta take a little break.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep reading on stuff. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. I mean, like, that's the only thing. It's like, if I'm not really, really invested in a series, and not to say that I'm not in Jobless, but it's just like, I don't know. Like I don't very rarely watch manga or anime that often, so it's like I just gotta pick and choose. And One Piece is going fine, still getting there, I guess. Waiting for the newest chapter, Kaiju number 8. Still waiting.
Yeah, Kaiju number 8 is one of those things where it's just like I kind of wish the author kind of like had a month to like kind of make a large chapter, you know?
Yeah, like
that's one of the things I think My Hero Academia suffers from, being weekly.
Yeah,
I do think they should move Boruto from monthly to weekly, and then move My Hero to monthly.
I think so too. Because at the moment, I'm loving what they're doing with My Hero.
Yeah, because Deku goes rogue, and now
he looks fucking cool.
Because like he's got like the decrepit All Might eyes now, which is kind of cool. I like that.
And his hat's different. I like I never liked the ears on the top of his head. I always thought that was a very weird design. And now with like the cool tattered bits that he's got on, I'm like, that's cool. He looks more like a, I don't know, like a ghoul or ghost kind of, like a shinobi or whatever. He looks really
the vigilante kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm like,
I kind of really hope they kind of like do like they probably wouldn't, but like a vigilantes crossover. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, and I know they're coming out with a movie, another one.
Another one?
Yeah, and apparently like
yeah, because the third one's supposed to be the ending one, right? He only wanted to do like 2, but they're like, oh, it did so well, we might as well do a third.
Yeah, and so I think this one's gonna be, well, they see in a screenshot, it's like Deku's like framed for murder or something like that. So they're gonna go down that avenue. So that'll be interesting. Like the old Spider-Man, you know, it's like, oh, webheads, well, how will he get out of this one? Which is like, oh, Stan Lee. But yeah, it'll be cool. I didn't really like how he revealed that he was the successor.
Oh, he just like left notes and be like, I'm gone. Fuck you guys.
I'm like, that's like that all that build up for that. I'm like, okay, well, that's like you do you, but it's very much just like if someone left me a note saying, hey, I'm this incarnation of this one guy.
The weirdest thing too is just kind of like this all happens within like 2 years too, so it's kind of like just like the amount of time he had to grow is kind of like not there.
Yeah,
it's kind of you kind of lose track of time, especially with this sort of stuff, especially with the time skips. And like, oh,
it feels like it's been going on for so long,
right? It's been My Hero Academia has been going for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like gotten to the point where it's just like, yeah, it's kind of feels like it hasn't been here for 5 years, but it's like gotten to that point, you know?
Yeah. And I think, well, I feel like it just like kind of dragged on for a bit, and then like it finally sped up. And now it's like, okay, we're good. We hit a bump. We hit a very slow bump, but we're here now, finally.
Did you read the latest chapter?
Oh, yeah, I read it, yeah.
Oh, okay, so Mustard's back, and then he's like, oh, I know that voice.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's you, fuckhead. No kid with water will save you this time.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be a cool fight. I
think it's gonna be really fast though. I really do think Deku's gotten to the point where it's like power scaling. He's pretty much gotten to the almost to the peak of like his power, just because of like his ability to tap into other parts of the
he's
all for one for all.
He's really strong now. Is Stain out? Did he escape?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. Of all the fucking villains, just bring him back, please. He was so cool. But you know, it's whatever. And then I think there was a poll on Twitter, like someone started it, was like, what do you think's better, Jujutsu Kaisen or My Hero?
My Hero all the way.
Nah, I disagree. JJK.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
For one, story structure, I got more invested in half the number of chapters than My Hero did. Like for instance, if JJK can get me more invested in these characters in like half the number of chapters, then it's like that does for one thing.
Well, I'll argue this, right? The characters don't get you invested at all. The characters are the most like bland, cutthroat characters that you could ever find in a manga.
This is JJK?
Yes.
Okay.
All the girls act the same way. All the guys act the same way. Literally, Itadori and Gojo have the same fucking personality.
Who? Sorry, what?
The main protagonist and
Gojo. Okay.
And Gojo have the same personality. While inside My Hero, we have different personalities, different goals, established goals for our main characters, as well as the supporting cast.
Now, I argue, though, do all those characters get the same amount of love that the JJK cast does? Because Sato, does he get any fucking...
Surprisingly, yes.
I mean...
Surprisingly, yes.
Compared to say, Mechamaru and Panda's confrontation and their whole story being revealed...
Well, that's the thing, though. They're working with a limited cast.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Now, I'm saying, though...
It's easier to do that. It's easier to say, like, oh, these people get so much screen time when you don't have to work with 20 other characters. But inside My Hero, they make every character have their own little time to shine.
Yes.
Especially in the animation with the first episode. They do a really great job of introducing all the characters and having shown, like, all their characters and how they work.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, Invisibility Girl, it's just...
I know, if you watch the first episode of the 5th season, you'll understand, like, everyone's here now.
Yeah, but if it takes me 5 seasons to get invested in that character... You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, though. Sometimes it's not their time to shine. Exactly, right?
Yeah, but if a story doesn't interest me quickly enough, it's like, why would I wait for that long? And it's all another thing about JJK that I think does better is that it just cuts out most of the filler. It's like, and even the baseball episode. It's like that was just like a downtime for what happens next.
Exactly. I'll say this: not all filler is bad, and all the filler inside My Hero is actually pretty well done. It's fairly cut to the point. There hasn't been a lot of filler where it's like understanding, where it's just like, oh, here's just a long breakdown like Hunter x Hunter with a long.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Text.
Oh fuck Jesus. Yeah. I mean, like the festival's fine. I think that the one with the what was his name, Gentleman, something like that. I forgot.
The mini arc.
Yeah. I thought that was fine. I got a cool look at the new Gentleman, but I don't know. I think for one, I like the action more. This is also, by the way, both series are fine. I think we both can agree that. And I just think that they both do certain things better. I just think that I preferably like the pacing and the sort of tone of this series more than My Hero. Where it's My Hero, I just feel like the tone is kind of, because there's no really big consequences until the big war.
Well,
thing.
that's kind of the thing.
And they build up to it.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's a school. They don't expect there to be consequences. They're supposed to like understand, like, oh, I could fail and like understand and learn from it. But inside the real world, you can't necessarily do that all the time.
And maybe that's just a preference thing for me. It's like I like big consequences, and I like just like, oh, this is because it adds more to the encounter, and I feel like it's more intense.
Well, that's the thing, though. There's not a lot of big consequences inside My Hero at first, but when you start building up to it, you understand when Night Eye dies, that's a big consequence of the actual hero work.
But did really connect with the Night Eye that quickly? Because we only see him at the beginning of the arc, and then it kind of goes, and it's just like, I didn't really, like, I felt sad, yeah, but I didn't really feel, like, tremendously, like, oh my god, this is terrible. Unlike Junpei, where it's just, like, you build a connection with Yuji, and it's very much...
I didn't really like Junpei.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
He's kind of just like the kind of throwaway character I expect him to die.
I feel like he was like, there was a possibility, but it's like, you
no,
kind of figured...
when I first read like a bunch of chapters for like Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, this kid's gonna die no matter what.
I kind of felt that way, but then at the same time, I was like, well, there's the possibility. But obviously, once again, that's the idea. It's like they give you the possibility, but in the end,
I understand when you write and know how manga works, you understand this kid's gonna die. It's basically like understand. It's not the game. It's not. It's like the reverse opposite of Game of Thrones, where anyone could die.
Yeah, no.
It's like, okay, you fill this role right now. Yeah, you're dead within the next 3 episodes or 3 chapters.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like Night Eye is the mentor character, and you kind of figure, eventually. But I don't know. His character to me never really, like, he was cool, but I don't know. Same thing with you. I just didn't really, like, I kind of, I guess then on to, art, you can't really, it's subjective.
Yeah. But backgrounds, though, that's not subjective.
No.
Drawing good backgrounds is not subjective.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen fails in that aspect completely.
Well, are we comparing, manga, well, no.
No, a bunch of fucking scenes are literally just completely just like blank. I'll literally show you like a bunch of it.
I mean, would you argue though that like you focus more on the character animation than say the background? But then,
and that's the thing though, is like they're inside a city, right? There's no one's really around. It's like kind of all meh.
They're in a forest city on the side of a street, but it's like at the same time, it's like those would be kind of commonplace for fighting curses, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think animation wise. I think consistently speaking, I think JJK kind of takes it. Because My Hero, it's like they'll have spurts, like old shonen does.
Yeah.
But JJK is just consistently solid throughout the board.
Yeah, I'm currently looking through the first chapter. They're using the same ceiling and floor assets constantly.
Yeah, they do. I mean, You can't really. It's to save money, and they spend all of it on just working on the character.
I know. I'm just like
animation
on the
itself.
manga right now. I'm just like that's
Oh,
kind of
the
just
manga.
like a cheap way. I'm like, okay, it's to save time, but it's kind of like I kind of expect to be like a large One Punch Man esque kind of thing, especially like if people are hyping this up. I expect like to be a One Punch Man art level, you know?
Okay, no, I get you. I mean, to be fair though, they do they do go back to the same places a couple times. And they usually are fighting in a city, so it makes sense to have some repeating elements.
Yeah.
Um, and then for let's see, audio wise, like, do we count that, or is that just too subjective?
That's kind of subjective because like
Yeah.
sound design is very subjective. I hate American dubbing sound design just
Yeah.
because it sounds like everyone's in the ear and like there's no kind of sort of like far away noises.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you a good example, like when I could pull it up on Netflix. So there's a very distinct sound design change between a Japanese dub and an English dub of it.
Also, I'd argue that Gojo is very different from Yuji because Yuji holds a lot of guilt, and Gojo is very much more of a carefree than Yuji is. Yuji is like, he's social and he's nice, but I don't think he's like super carefree. You see it a lot of times where he does stuff and he's like, this affects me in a very big way.
Well, yeah, but he's kind of like still the dumb idiot, and like Gojo's the dumb idiot. It's the same personality traits that they share.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because,
Yeah.
like, Yuji is very much, I'd say, he thinks about situations. Like, you see it
The
in
guy
big
with
fights.
the idol crush, big dumb idiot.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, the idol crush? What?
The guy with the scar, like brother. It's time to cook.
Oh.
They're all
Toto?
big dumb idiots. Yeah, they're all big dumb idiots. I'm telling you this now. They're all big dumb idiots.
Really? The guy who was able to think about the entire situation in a fight in, like, the matter of a few, like, milliseconds and can think over an entire battlefield is the big dumb idiot?
Exactly, because Goku. The Goku did the exact same thing, still a big dumb idiot.
I mean, Yuji just seems like a regular guy who's also, like, very caring and also he's also very nice. And he has a much more upbeat attitude, comparatively. Okay, let's compare it to my hero, Deku. Very nice guy, but has a very kind of shitty attitude. Well, not shitty. Let me rephrase that.
He tries to have a positive attitude with everyone, but he understands he can't have it with everyone.
Yeah. And then Yuji is very much just also trying to have an upbeat attitude, but also understands the weight of his decision and wants to have same thing. Wants to have the same sort of decisions. And I'm going crazy here. And while Gojo, it's like, the thing with Gojo is that he's this almighty.
He's a fucking mixed bag.
He's an almighty being, right? He's like super OP. But in reality, he's got all this power, but can't really. He explains it too when he uses domain expansion. He's like, yeah, all this power, and I can't really, when you have all this power, you can't really do anything with it. And it's like, you see it, like, he does all this stuff, but in the end, the villains still manage to pull things off and do things under his nose. And, he tries to always think ahead and try to see the situation in full, but, he keeps he just tries to keep everything cool and underneath. Whereas Yuji, well, I don't know how to explain it, because, like, comparing Yuji to Gojo is very kind of, I don't know, they're definitely different, though. I would argue that, like, to summarize, Gojo is super confident and knows what he's doing and pretty cocky because he knows he is. He's like he's the shit. Whereas Yuji is, well, he's upbeat, but he knows that he needs to get serious when the situation calls for it.
He's basically Kakashi Sensei. Yeah, he's Kakashi.
I don't know.
It's Kakashi.
He's not Kakashi.
Gojo, yeah, dude, he's total Kakashi.
No, he is not.
Yeah, personality wise, he plays off this like very suave and like kind of like.
He doesn't threaten to fire his students. I think Kakashi. No, well, I get the idea.
That's just the first episode, right? That's just the first introduction to him. But when you further go along with like getting to know the character, he's very normal, but like he could kick your ass in a fight no matter what.
Yeah, but I think that Kakashi, for one thing, has that kind of personal trauma, or has that sort of history with students that he just like, I don't want to teach anybody, and he's very just like, keeps people at a distance. Whereas Gojo is like, he's like, fuck it, whatever, I can do whatever. He's like goofy. He's like Dante from Devil May Cry, sort of.
Well, I also think there's like a different rule set though.
Well, because he's fucking OP. He could do whatever he wants.
No,
That's
within
the
like
idea.
the worlds though, because like Naruto is different because like they're kind of you have a force to like be a ninja kind of at certain points.
Well, yeah, you could. It's like going to ninja school is like it's school, but when you're when you're jujutsu sorcerer, it's a lot more weight because you have to. He literally says you have to be insane to do it. Like that's what Gojo literally says. Like you have to be crazy to want to be in this type of world, and that's why I think that's the biggest. Also, the biggest difference is that the characters in JJK are all kind of nuts because they adapt to the situation like that, and they kind of have to because if not, they'll all fucking die.
Well, that's what I say though. You kind of need that kind of culture shock between two different worlds to kind of understand the weight.
I think you get it. I mean, I think you like when you see Yuji's students or his classmates getting fucking tortured and almost killed by the curses is like a big shock, and also seeing, it's just basically Yuji getting used to it. It's just we're moving along. We understand like.
So it's just removing emotion, becoming soulless killers.
No, I think it's the fact that he understands the weight of the situation, and it's just, we know what's going on, let's handle it now. Instead of Ichigo fucking asking questions every 5 minutes, being like, why do you mean I have to do that? What are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like with Ichigo, though, that's the kind of the thing you expect from him.
Yeah, but after like 100 or so chapters and he's still asking fucking questions, it's like, dude, you understand.
I don't think he asked that many questions like in the
Really?
No, he doesn't really. It's one of those things where it's just like when something is new introduced, it's kind of just like, well, how does that work?
Yeah, but I feel like there's more organic ways than someone just asking the question and just rather being like...
I mean, asking a question is pretty organic, Charlie.
No. What I mean by that is like just doing it exposition-wise. Like you could do it in a way... How do I say this? Like Jujutsu Kaisen does it where it's like, you see that guy? Just punch him. We'll explain it in a bit. It's like, because you don't have the situation where it's like you're in the middle of a battle and you can't really just be like, like, oh, this makes sense because it's blah, blah, blah. And they actually do a good thing where, well, they actually, Gege does a cool thing where it's like, if you explain the technique, it works faster or has more, like, it's more potent. Yeah. And so it makes sense, like, why you would want to explain it. That's what I mean. Just give me something to understand, like, why is this person talking when he could just be punching, like, or taking out someone, like, immediately. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you be explaining... Excuse me, sorry. Maybe it's just anime tropes in general that I'm annoyed at, where it's just, like, they talk for, like, 5 hours about something, where it's like, they could just kind of easily explain it some other way. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, I think a lot of anime kind of fuck around with time sense, because like I do think like it's like bullet time where it's like there's like anime time where it's like things happen so fast people are processing it and this is what's happening, where it's kind of being slowed down for the viewer instead. I think that's what I would explain it as.
Yeah, and I think we're going off topic a little bit, but back to the My Hero. Maybe that was my fault. The JJK discussion. Yeah,
I think the worst fan base, they're both pretty shit.
But they're nowhere near as bad as the JoJo fan base.
I'll say this: the JoJo fan base is just like they know they're wrong and they're bad. It's just that the My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen won't accept it.
Or the Demon Slayer fan base might be pretty big. Is Demon Slayer?
I don't think the Demon Slayer fan base is that big anymore. I think the hype passed.
Yeah,
I do think Jujutsu Kaisen was overhyped as well.
Well, yeah, I think that once it passes as well, like, that's what every big new shonen anime. It's just like, oh, this is the shit, and it's like, all right,
it's average. It's like consistent. It's like okay, it's like get on.
There's always something that makes it special, and that's what they like hype about. And like I will say, the animation gets better every gen, which is nice, like consistently speaking wise. And certain story aspects get better, but I definitely think that there are certain things that just limit the series because it's a shonen in certain aspects. I don't know. And also, yeah, I mean, Maki and Nobara are somewhat similar to a degree. I'd say that Gege does admit that he only knows really how to write one type of woman character. But then again, there's also Miwa, who's like kind of a goofball. And...
Well, that's kind of the standard, though, for a shonen.
Yeah.
That's kind of, Miwa's the standard female shonen protagonist. You expect her to be the female lead instead of Nobita.
Like the calm passion, or like the gentle sort of idea.
Yeah, the gentle kind of like, I'm here, and like, I'm trying to do my best.
She kind of feels like, well, yeah. She has the do your best thing. I don't know. She kind of feels just like a henchman, kind of. It's like she's just like,
yeah, she's just a slacker, dude.
Yeah,
she's completely number 2 instead of fucking.
She's like, I'm poor, so I just got to do what I got to do, Yeah. I don't know. There's certain small things but yeah, the biggest comparison between I guess the biggest difference I could find between Nobara and Maki is that
Maki's only power. That's it.
yeah, Maki's powerless, and also temperament wise, I guess Kugisaki's got a little bit more of a evil side when you see at the end there. She's kind of got a bit of a twisted.
I guess.
Creepy. I mean, I will say she's better than Sakura in terms of trio wise. I think I like her way more than Sakura. Because Sakura just didn't do anything.
No, Sakura is pretty much useless.
Yeah, and then I don't know if she's better than Urahara, because Urahara.
I wouldn't really count Urahara as sort of the third. I would count Rukia as a third, honestly, or as kind of the sidekick, the female lead.
Who's Rukia again? I'm totally.
It's the girl who gives Ichigo her power.
Oh no, I'm talking about My Hero.
Oh,
sorry, Urahara. Was that her name?
Ochako.
Majaka. Why did
Uraraka.
Uraraka. I'm so sorry. I keep getting these names. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
Would you say that she's better than?
I'd say she's better than Miwa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she has more admirable goals than Nobita as well. Because
yeah.
It's one of those things. It's such a realistic thing to do, especially when if you for a writing standpoint, it's kind of just real with you, being yeah, I was raised poor. My family runs a construction company, and I just want to make a better life for them.
Yeah,
and that's just one of
the
things.
But it's also realistic from Nobara's perspective, where it's you can't save everybody, and the idea is we can't really be judged in this situation because.
Well, that's the thing, though. You can't really. You can't. It's not the relatability of everything. And who's gonna be a fucking sorcerer to kill things and stuff but in order to work harder and to make money to make sure your family's taken care of, that's more of a relatable kind of goal for people.
I get it. And Miwa does the same thing where she has a bunch of younger siblings that she has to help and work for.
Yeah.
So having that sort of normal person.
It's like Konbeni from Chainsaw Man, just absolutely shit on.
When that shit comes out, I'm gonna be so excited.
What is my purpose? Your purpose is to suffer.
Yeah, really, pretty much. What is your purpose? To make toast? My God. Yeah, no, I mean, once again, it's all pretty much subjective. It's just really what do you prefer, kind of, Yeah. I mean, it's I think both series are great. It's just one of them just likes to go in, and the other one likes to build up, and the build is me, I I love One Piece, so it's I love the build and elements coming together in the end of the day. But it's just something about Jujutsu Kaisen where it's just they get straight to the point, and it's just very much just let's fucking do this, and it's more realistic to me. I don't know, it's just the way people act where it's fight scenes are more in depth, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of Hunter x Hunter because
I'll say this, the editing inside Jujutsu Kaisen in the anime was kind of bad. I'll say that compositing and editing was probably the worst part of that show.
I will say I love the final battle where it's dun, 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 dun.
That was fine because it kind of made sense, but the one with Yuji and the plant one was bad editing.
Oh, the Nanamine.
Yeah, that one was bad editing.
Hanami.
I don't think I really like the director though. That's probably a director thing where I just don't like the director's decision on certain things.
I thought it was fine. I thought it communicated enough, but
no, it's one of those things where it's just the 101 in editing is cut on action. They kind of just cut after the action, which is kind of
it's not snappy enough.
Yeah, it's that for the fight scene you're trying to produce, it's not snappy enough to make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the things that you should work on. Obviously, compositing is one of those things because I also say is just some lighting doesn't look good. Some of the 3D aspect didn't look that great either. I think that's just a Mappa thing though. And then compositing for smoke effects, right? A lot of times it wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of the stale PNG that kind of went away with the transparency.
Yeah,
there's no I can
agree that there are some bits that just didn't look just right, and I think the next season they'll probably nail it down better. But
I don't know about that. They're going to use the same director and same people, so I don't really expect them to do it. Because they're probably stuck in the way of their own style. Because I think the same director who did Jujutsu Kaisen did God of High School, and we all know that was a fucking shit show.
And the action was good. It just didn't have a good. I think
didn't have a good story.
No.
It was very poorly executed.
I will say Webtoon, it's weird. I've read a lot of them over time. It's just the story, when you read it from beginning to end, it's very kind of, I don't know, stagnant in a way. Stuff just happens. There's not really I don't know. It's hard to explain. This not to throw shade on any webtoons, but it's just sometimes the story.
We should do a show where we just like look at the lowest rated webtoons and kind of review them.
Oh my god, yes,
that'd be a fun thing to do.
There's so many like most of them are just romance ones. They're just
no, yeah, a bunch of fucking webtoons are Koreans and like Koreans love smut. I'll say this: they love sex, they love smut. All K-dramas. I'm sorry, K-drama fans. It's all smut. Like I don't understand. It's like soap opera bullshit.
I'm sorry to tell you this, K-pop fans, but it's over for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think we'll just leave it at a tie, I guess.
Exactly.
I don't fucking know, because I'd rather.
Let's leave the viewer to decide.
That's right.
If you thought My Hero Academia, leave a like. If you thought Jujutsu Kaisen won, leave a comment.
I honestly actually really just don't like. I'm probably never gonna do another discussion like this, but it's because I just find that it's all pretty much subjective.
It's pointless bickering that no one has time for. It's like. Objectively from a certain point of view, should be consistency throughout the series.
Yes.
If there isn't consistency throughout the series, then it's objectively bad.
Yes, I agree. And I think that comparing two series in totally different circumstances, even though they're both in like say shonen or something like that, you can't do it because it's like
different world building, different world rules.
Yeah. But I think we all can agree that the best power system of all time is Hunter x Hunter. I mean, you can't. Yeah.
But can Gon beat Goku?
That's right. People have also been asking, like, can Gojo beat Goku? I'm like, well, no.
Probably not. If he goes Ultra Instinct from the get-go, it's all over.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, like, I always think it's like, okay, maybe, but then whenever I see Hit break through time, or no, sorry,
yeah, Hit
no,
go through...
No, I mean, fucking... the bald alien. Dude.
Oh, Jiren.
Whenever I see Jiren break through time, just sheer power alone, I'm like, okay, so that simplifies. Like any cool technique just gets thrown out the window when
exactly.
It's straight power in that universe. So yeah,
Hakai.
That's right.
Yeah,
Hakai is so fucking broken, but I love it. It's still great. If you can incorporate it, it's like if. That's another thing. It's like if everyone can learn the technique, it's like okay, that's fair.
That's fair, exactly. But
it's like just get good.
Yeah,
fight back.
But bloodline technique, that's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, everyone has cursed energy, so it's like you can use it to enhance your body or whatever.
All right, I guess it's through this podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Heated discussion. Next time we'll talk about stuff. Bye.